The NHL playoffs are alive and well, and that's why you're tapped right back into your daily source for hockey coverage, fantasy news, and daily gambling breakdowns. It's the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, and me, oh my, there is so much to get to on today's episode. Thatcher Demko, the Leafs respond, the Oilers looking to roll, and all you need to know. Let's get right to it.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
If you're not fired up at this time of year, as a hockey fan, I'm going to doubt you. But our listeners, supporters, and everydayers, I would never doubt. That's a shout out to everyone holding us down, making us your first listen every single day. Steele and I could not do this show without y'all. That's my co-host, Mr. Steele, wrote in, and on this side of the microphone, it's your boy, Big Flip Livingstone. My goodness me, Mr. Roden. We have no shortage of amazing topics to cover. You and I have been going back and forth a little bit off air today. I know you have some things you got to get off the chest, and I can't wait to hear it. We're going to start with a quick Thatcher Demko update, and I'll just get it right out of the way right now. The Vancouver Canucks might be in trouble. Thatcher Demko is out for Game 2 of Nashville versus Nashville, and we'll talk a little bit about that more on tomorrow's episode. All you need to know that he might miss the entire series. On today's show, though, Steele, we got to talk about the series that we're going to tee up tonight on Wednesday's bets, and I'm talking about Leafs, Bruins, Game 3, Oilers and Kings, Game 2. The Canes might absolutely roll through the New York Islanders. We'll tee up that Game 3. I don't know what you're thinking there. And Vegas sends a big-time message to the Dallas Stars. We'll take a look at that Game 2, Wednesday's bets. I'm going to fermer la bouche and turn it right over to you, my friend. The Toronto Maple Leafs needed that win in so many ways. That's obvious. Samsonov was huge. Auston Matthews took over that game. I don't know where you want to go because I'm ready to talk about everything. But also, where is Willie Styles, Steele? You put out a tweet. What's going on with this guy? Maybe start there.
I mean, I'm just super confused, and I feel like a lot of Leaf Nation is super confused right now about William Nylander's status, along with a lot of the media out there. What is going on? I mean, the video came out. He was at the optional practice, and he seemed to be in pretty good shape and seemed to be healthy. He was absolutely flying out there in practice, goofing off a little bit. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense if he's really that injured. Why is he out there in practice skating like the wind, like we've seen him do in regular season? Correct. You know, this is a guy who hasn't missed a ton of games throughout his NHL career, and I don't think I believe I saw something that he hasn't missed a game since like 2017 or 2018. Like he's been a very healthy player. So things aren't adding up with William Nylander and what's going on. I mean, let's just say hopefully he's back for Game 3, and you know that can just be kind of put in the past. Maybe it gets addressed,
what is adding up though, Steele? Tell me what is adding up, because that was a big win. Tell me what you're seeing.
That was a big win. And I'll leave Poppy, Auston Matthews for you. I want to talk about two players specifically. I'm going to talk about the guy I mentioned as an X factor, Max Domi.
You deserve credit for that one.
Absolutely incredible in Game 2. And that was a complete transformation and complete 180 from Game 1 to Game 2. He was still aggressive. He was still feisty. He was doing his thing out there, but he was smart. He was playing great hockey. He was setting up Auston Matthews. Auston Matthews was setting him up. He was in the right position at the right time. He was playing the way the Leafs need him to play. And Game 1 showed us that that's not what, it's a little bit of what we need, but that's not what we need, is those silly penalties. So I got to give a shout out to Max Domi. He played incredible in Game 2. Yes. Keep it rolling into Game 3. Keep that line of Bertuzzi, Matthews, and Domi. That is the best line of the season, and they've been rolling so far. Number 2 is I have a quarrel. I have a problem with Mitch Marner. He is really getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
And
can someone page Mitch Marner and let him know the postseason started a couple days ago?
Thank you. Because when I watch him play, and he's tricked us all. He has really fooled us.
You're going there.
He has fooled us into us believing that he is really worth. I know he makes $10.5 million, but like even 9.5, like no. Yeah, 85, 90 points. It's all great in the regular season, but where are you in the postseason? Where are you in the playoffs? The video doesn't lie. Go watch the replay. Go watch.
That's
the game
embarrassing.
tape. Did you see that video on Twitter?
Yes.
I mean, he makes it look like he's trying hard out there.
Is he hurt? No. Is he hurt, or
is
he just?
He's not hurt. No,
is he butt hurt?
No.
Is he butt hurt? Perhaps because
he is mentally not there. Flip. He is mentally not there when it comes to the playoffs. He doesn't play hard. He's not. He needs to play a different game in the playoffs. I mean, the points in the regular season, the points in the the playoff history that he's had. It means nothing when you don't play with a certain edge, a certain grit, a certain style.
Nailed it.
I mean, I'll throw it over to you now because I got to catch my breath real quick. But I mean, I am absolutely mind-boggled on what I'm seeing from Mitch Marner right now.
Look, catch your breath and give yourself a pat on the back because right here at the top of my notes for this Leafs game is paging Mitch Marner. Marner, I have right here, Marner has to be better. And look, when you bring it at the level that he has in the regular season, and we're not going to talk too much about this Leafs game because the main thing is here, and we'll get to Matthews and then we'll move on. The main thing is this team responded, and they're doing it without Mitch Marner and completely without Willie Stiles. So there's something there to be said in terms of a positive, even more of a positive angle than Toronto responding for the first time that they have against Boston all season. Let's get that out of the way so that all the haters out there with the angry tweets and the keyboard warriors can maybe silence their bushes for a few minutes, Steele, because I'm tired of all of that. Poppy silenced it very quickly. Marner needs to be so much better. That's a joke. His effort, and on tape, you're talking about the clips, you're talking about what you're seeing. If he's injured, then don't put him in there. Get someone else in there who can give 110% because right now, Steele, even when a player is that good,
injured, I'm telling you right now, he's not injured. This is just how he plays in the playoffs, and it's super frustrating.
Well, then that's even more frustrating and super disappointing, especially when you have a performance from Ilya Samsonov that was, Steele, just as important as Auston Matthews' performance. And very quickly, let's just get that off the chest. Auston Matthews knew that this was a must-win game, and he's tired of hearing about it. And now I'm tired of hearing about anybody talk about Auston Matthews with any kind of disrespect, honestly, at all. Because that play, him taking down the puck and burying it inside out like that, is the cherry on top of what was already an amazing game.
Yeah.
He was the best player on the ice, and actually, Steele, you know the most underrated part of his game. It's the defensive side.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just as good at both ends. Hit me with your take very quickly on Poppy because we agree, I think, on Marner. Hit me with Poppy, and then let's get to, oh my goodness, so much. The Oilers, the Hurricanes ready to cruise through the Islanders, Vegas, going up against this team in Dallas that I have so much invested into, and somehow we're going to get off Wednesday's bets. But hit me with Poppy very quickly, Steele, because I know you're fired up about that performance.
I just absolutely love the force he put behind that shot. Roof Daddy over Linus Allmark. I mean, incredible move, incredible finish.
Incredible.
He was the number one star right there with Max Domi and Ilya Samsonov backing him up with the second and third star of the game. It was absolutely tremendous. He's one of the best players in the league right now. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much, sir. And, well, we got a lot to get out of the way in the next few seconds here, my friends, because you know today's episode is brought to you by our friends at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. The formula for a winning championship is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts, Steele, we're up from 121. For your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash, baby. And with all the parts that you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home that W. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. You know it's playoff time, and we got the playoff vibes for the NBA and the NHL, and baseball's in full swing. At FanDuel, you can bet on everything. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150, win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to dingers to slam dunks, all on the best app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Look, Steele, I'm making all my bets on FanDuel these days. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Make sure you go check out Locked On Sports Today and Locked On NFL Mock Draft. It's available now. Find the Ultimate 6-episode series on Locked On NFL Draft to hear who the local Locked On experts are picking for every NFL franchise, with live reactions from local college football experts and even the fantasy football angle. The Locked On NFL Mock Draft, available now on Locked On NFL Draft on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. Hit the subscribe button, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. We appreciate all that love and support you show us throughout the entire NHL season, in the off season, every single day. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. Let's continue the conversation of playoff hockey with Game 1 of the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings. Absolute slapping from the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1. And I want to start the conversation with this because Game 1, Game 2 so far of the postseason, the NHL goaltending has been a little bit suspicious. There have been some high-scoring games, and one of them being in Game 1 between the Kings and Oilers. What was the final score, Flip? Was it 7-4, 7-5?
I think it was 7-4.
I think it was 7-4
have them all
as well.
up right here. And what the bottom line is, Steele, the action has been intense. And did we expect anything less after the season we had? Perhaps we shouldn't have. It was 7-4. So please continue with your train of thought.
3 guys: Zach Hyman, Connor McDavid, Evan Bouchard. What a game from those 3 guys. Zach Hyman with a hat trick, Connor McDavid with 5 assists, Evan Bouchard with a 4-point night. We knew that this series was going to be, deja vu nightmares for the LA Kings. 3 consecutive years in the first round against Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and the rest of the boys. We knew it was going to be this type of series between these two teams once again, and we got a lot of action in Game 1. So, there's not really much else to say on my behalf. Just Zach Hyman continues his goal-scoring touch. He never lost it. Connor McDavid, he's got 5 assists in the night. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, here we go, Steele. I got a couple of quick points to get off because I think maybe we can I think this Vegas-Dallas Stars series, you and I need to maybe talk about a little bit more in length because we'll mention the Carolina Hurricanes in a second. But if I was the New York Islanders, I'd be making some tee times and maybe a few swing lessons because anyway, we'll get there. Connor McDavid is the first 5-assist game in the playoffs since 1998. There's stat number 1. Stat number 2. I had to think about it because I have a bunch of stats here. The Edmonton Oilers had lost their first game in the playoffs all the way back until 2017, and they've been in the playoffs quite a bit. So the fact that they were able to come in here and blow the doors off of the Kings, I keep hearing this narrative, Steele, and you know me, I'm listening and watching far too many podcasts, watching too many experts. Everyone's kind of giving me this spiel of the Kings play the 1-3-1. I don't know if you hear about this. They stack up the neutral zone. They want to jam it up. They want to gum up the works. I'm not buying into this. You want to play 3 guys back and not press Bouchard, McDavid, and Draisaitl and these guys breaking out? To me, that's a mistake. So I'll end it with this. I am not here for this narrative of people putting out there that the Kings are going to tighten it up. The Kings can try and tighten it up all day long. If the McDavid show is running like that, there is not a single team in the Western Conference that can stop them. Maybe a stingy club like the New York Rangers or the Carolina Hurricanes, maybe. But in the West, if they keep rolling like that, Steele, no one is going to stop them, not even my Dallas Stars.
I mean, it's definitely a tough ask for any of those Western Conference teams, but Dallas Stars and Vegas Golden Knights, again, one of those two teams.
One more good stat. In 16 career postseason games, McDavid has 30 points.
Oh my
That's
God.
insane.
I mean, McJesus for a reason.
That's insane.
Edmonton Oilers, LA Kings game 2 coming up later tonight. Absolute looking forward to it. Let's get over to the Hurricanes Islanders real quick. I don't know if you have anything to say about this. I have. Oh man, I got to get this off my chest. That was one of the most embarrassing playoff losses. And I do want to say this as well. It's kind of funny is the commentator, play-by-play commentator jinx is a true thing. They put up a stat that said in 82 games, when the Islanders have led by 3 goals in the playoffs, they were 82-0. They were up 3-0. They put up that stat, and Carolina scores 5 straight. I was laughing so hard I fell out of the chair. But at the same time, I was also very embarrassed for the Islanders, and I was also embarrassed for myself because I picked the Islanders in 7 to win this series. So I am very after that loss. I mean, they were up 3-1.
Yeah,
they were up 3-1.
Weren't they up 3-0? They were up 3-0.
They were up 3-0, and then they allowed a goal late in the. They were up 3-1. They were up 3-1 going into the third period.
Okay,
and they played one of the most passive games I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they were just they were throwing the puck back and forth from D to D. Muffins. They were dumping it in when they got to the red line. They weren't forechecking. They weren't playing aggressive. They were just letting the Hurricanes come to them. They scored another. It was 3-2. They scored 9 seconds later to tie it up. And the next thing you know, it's 5-3. And now they're down 2-0 when they could have tied up that series on the road. So, I still think the Islanders, could win a couple of games maybe. But I after that performance, I lost complete faith in their ability to win this series. If they somehow pull out a W, like it's good on me. It's fine. It's whatever. But if they lose, this is the last year I picked the Islanders to win a playoff series because they are super disappointing.
First of all and foremost, respect due to you for coming out here and still saying that you stood by. No, Steele, there was something to be said about you and I both went to journalism school. You and I have cut our chops properly. There's something to be said about, I remember some journalists in the mix. You go out there, you make a bold prediction, or you write a scathing piece about a player, and it makes you look like you got egg on your face. Not saying you got a whole ton of egg on your face.
I got a couple back.
You go back out there, though, and you take it on the chin. Because you're a professional just like you are, and you do what you do. So respect due there. Number 2, they are in trouble. Right now, they are not pegged to win a single game. How about this? The Carolina Hurricanes had 110 shot attempts. 110. In the third period, Steele, the New York Islanders had 1. They had 1 shot on net. One single shot. And let me just roll it up at this because I really do want to get to this Vegas-Dallas series and wrap up with our bets, is this. Jake Guentzel, Sebastian Aho, and Seth Jarvis might be the best line in hockey right now. And you got Nathan McKinnon's and Connor McDavid's out there. Those 3 players are clicking. And right now, the Carolina Hurricanes are establishing themselves as right there with the New York Rangers, those 2 teams that we should see come out of the East.
Very dangerous teams right now, both the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Rangers. One final thing, and we'll get over to the Vegas Golden Knights, Dallas Stars series and big time bets.
Yes,
we're all questioning where the heck William Nylander is. I don't know if I've just been living under a rock, but why is Ilya Sorokin not playing? Is he injured? Like he didn't play game 1. He didn't play game 2.
Nope. What I read, Steele, is the comfort level that Patrick Waugh has with Varlamov from his Colorado days is he's playing a hunch. I haven't seen anything about Sorokin being injured. He was going with the guy who he actually leaned to him down the stretch a little bit more as well. And Steele,
I mean,
it's a mistake in my opinion as well, especially
yeah.
just look, the way that they got pumped in game 2, he has to be in there in game 3. We don't know what that is, but I'm with you. But also Patrick Waugh is a little bit of a hothead. So I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. If I have to be
I mean, like
honest.
it's not like Semyon Varlamov played bad either. It's just like, why not go with the younger, better goaltender? I mean, like I like Varlamov.
Yeah,
As a backup goaltender.
I guess he's playing the hunch. He's playing the hotter hand. I don't know.
He can come in and do his job, but I mean, I'm confused. Hopefully, we see Sorokin in there for game 3, or else it's completely over, in my opinion. We're gonna get over to the Vegas Golden Knights Dallas Stars series and big time bets, but first, this episode is brought to you by Sleeper. It's playoff hockey, baby. We couldn't be more excited. I want to remind you all that you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. It's not just hockey, though. It's not just NHL. You can also play NFL, NBA, MLB, CFB on the Sleeper app, and you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. All you have to do is pick studs like McDavid, Matthews, Hellebuck, McKinnon, if they'll record more or less than their sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minus, and more in a given game. To win a 100-time bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Locked On Fantasy Hockey fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. This episode is also brought to you by Indeed. When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish you could do the same thing with your business team? If you're building a roster to win the league, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Hate waiting? Indeed's U.S. data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you pay for quality applications that match your must-job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon, Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Continue to hit the subscribe, the follow button, leave a 5-star review. We appreciate all that love and support you show us Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. We're going to get over to big time bets for Wednesday's betting board of Game 2, Game 3 action for some of these clubs right now. There's a couple of Game 2s out there.
You're right. Sorry. I'm a little bit excited, Steele.
Vegas Golden Knights, Dallas Stars, though. Game 1 action, 4-3 victory on the road. The first road team to win, by the way, for the Vegas Golden Knights in Dallas. They take that 4-3 victory. I'll throw it over to you, Flip. What did you see in that game? What was your takeaway?
Well, should we just talk about the obvious deal of that?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think I saw the graphic, and don't you know me with the digits and the numbers. Don't hold it to me, but I believe their playoff salary cap has ballooned to something like $28 million or something like that, more than what they were in the end of the regular season. And look, I am not here to cry because as a Leafs fan, you know we've done enough of that. But there's got to be something that, and you saw the boos from Mark Stone. You tweeted about that very eloquently. And maybe there isn't too much to be said about this because it's already been said, but when you see Thomas Hertl, a guy who also just spent a whole chunk of time on LTIR, who also helped them circumvent whatever the words you want to use the cap to their advantage, this is starting to get a little bit annoying, Steele, for me, because I'm biased, and I'm going to nitpick, and I'm going to cry a bit anyway, even though I said I'm not going to do it, because I got money invested in the Dallas Stars, and Jake Ottinger needs to be better. That's number one. I'm not going to take away from a good performance from the Vegas Golden Knights, but Noah Hannafin, Thomas Hertl, and then Mark Stone come in, and all of those players are connected because the reason they can bring in Noah Hannafin is because Mark Stone's on LTIR. The reason Thomas Hertl's also on LTIR. Look, I'm going to take a deep breath and just say this. The Dallas Stars better tighten it up. And Jake Ottinger needs to be a lot better because I had to double check my vision as well, Steele, because he only faced 15 shots in the entire game, and he has a save percentage of .733. This is the Jake Ottinger that we were all worried about fantasy-wise in the first half of the season, and I know his Stars team kind of bailed him out a little bit to come back and make this one close. Hit me with your take here. But this Golden Knights team is not to be trifled with. And at this point, we should probably put all the salary cap stuff aside because the team is what the team is, isn't it?
It is. The team is what the team is right now. And there's no denying it at this point. They're in the playoffs. They're facing the best team out of the Central Division. You gotta do what, you got to eat what's on your plate at this point. It's right there. You got to go up against the best of the best. And I mean, the best players for the Vegas Golden Knights showed out in game one. Jack Eichel, a couple of assists. Mark Stone coming in for his first game since mid-February and bangs first goal in the first minute and a half. Noah Hannafin, like you mentioned, Tomas Hertl, they all jumped off the page. They all get on the score sheet. So that to me, along with I didn't understand why bring out Mark Stone during the first intermission to center ice, on the bench in an away game. It didn't make any sense. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. He's a true villain right now. I was trying to relate him to somebody out there, and I think the best I could really come up with was Homelander from The Boys. There's people that love him. There's people that absolutely hate him right now. So he's
that's a good one though.
He's a complete villain in the National Hockey League, except for Vegas fans and his teammates. So I mean, it is what it is at this point. Vegas is up 1-0. We're going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights right now, though. Again, with big time bets.
Boom.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to rattle off all three of my picks. I'm keeping it simple because, like I said, the goaltending, just the games have been kind of crazy for game ones and game twos, all in both conferences. So
crazy.
First pick of the night. Golden Knights Stars under 6.5. I'm teasing it up.
Correct, Steele. Say less. I have that pick too. Done.
I'm teasing it up to under 6.5. But when we were doing our predictions, when we were doing our best bets, I mentioned doing the under 5.5 or under 6.5 in every single game because 10 out of 11 of the matchups have gone under the number. I'm teasing it back up to under 6.5. Better goaltending, like you said. Golden Knights Stars under 6.5. Second pick. Leafs on the money line. They're taking a 2-1 series lead here. Hopefully,
I got that one too.
Hopefully, William Nylander's back in the lineup. I don't know. Honestly, I can't even remember. Was Bobby McMann in the lineup for game 2?
He was not, and they're saying that he might also be back on Wednesday night. Steele, this is going to be a massive opportunity that the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't been able to take a hold of in past seasons against the Bruins, and they need to. Also, by the way, my friend, Vegas, Dallas, under 6.5. I have it written right here. Tease it. That's number one. I agree. Boston at Toronto. Leafs on the money line, minus 115. Keep going because I'm loving this so far. My lock of the night. I hope we have the same thing.
Oilers on the money line is my lock of the night. That is my lock of the night. I'm going with the homeboys here in game 2. I'm keeping it simple, like I said, because so far the playoff bets haven't been hitting the way I've wanted to. So going simple here, going into Wednesday night.
Leon Draisaitl, anytime point. When Connor McDavid is distributing the puck the way that he did, that man is a magician. And I don't think we can say enough, at least from my aspect when I watch that game, Steele. The Edmonton Oilers should be the Stanley Cup favorites right now. And I know it's just one game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Look,
that's a lot.
No, it's because Connor McDavid is that good. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to talk about the goaltending. I'm not saying Stuart Skinner is a Stanley Cup winner, bona fide. But when Connor McDavid is making spinorama passes and putting up 5 assists means that's nice. But that means 5 basic tap-ins.
Yeah.
You said that yourself. When he's distributing the puck like that, this team is just going to be hard to beat. That's all I mean. Right now, I'm just fired up to see it. You know me, I'm going to flap off at the gums. Draisaitl anytime point, my lock of the night. Let's just reel it in because tomorrow you and I'll have a whole lot more to talk about on Thursday's episode.
Oilers money line, my lock of the night. Leon Draisaitl anytime point, Flip's lock of the night. Those are the picks. That's the episode. Thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Once again, go check out Locked On Sports Today's YouTube channel, the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. You can also find it on the free Amazon Fire TV channel app. Make sure you go check it out over there, and make sure you subscribe to our channel over here at the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode with Flip and I. Have a great day. Good luck with all your bets tonight, and we shall see you back here again tomorrow.
Peace.